Matthew, welcome back. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't just say Matthew, welcome back to Signal Fire Radio. I should say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Signal Fire Radio, a show about ambitious leadership for ambitious leaders, Matt, where each and every day we set out to conquer the villain of self-doubt by having encouraging conversations designed to feed the mind, strengthen the body, enrich the spirit, and grow the tribe. Do you think you'll be able to recite that on your own next week?
Yes.
You will be tested.
I'm impressed.
Our guest today is Morgon Latimore. If you're not following Morgon on LinkedIn, you're missing out, because we were talking about it just in the pre-show. Like every Friday, dude, you just dance, right? You just sing in your car and you just dance.
Have a great time.
Have a great time.
That's sometimes we forget. I started doing it during the pandemic because everybody was posting like Black Lives Matter, all that other stuff, and it was just so much negativity. I was like, nope, I'm going to, I've learned to go the total opposite direction of everybody else, right? Because that's where you always want to hit the market that is the least, has the least amount of attention. And positivity was like not in market at that time.
Right, it's in short supply.
Very short supply. So I was like, I'm focused on this, and you know what? I'm just going to do what I feel. And I just danced. I danced on Friday. And I actually stopped for a minute until I started getting emails and messages like, what are you doing? Are you okay?
Whoa.
Are you okay? Like,
What the hell?
Because on social media, sometimes you don't see the engagement.
Yep.
You don't know. You can say likes and views, but sometimes you'll get none of that. But there's so many people that you're touching. And when I did that, and then one lady told me, she's like, I just lost my daughter last week, and this video helped me get through the day. I was done. I've been doing it since then, and I ain't gonna stop.
It's so awesome when you get those messages from people, because sometimes you do this and you put yourself out in social media and you kind of live through what happens on the cell phone, people liking it or commenting, and it's always nice stuff for the most part. It's like, hey, good job, hey, this really helped me. But when you get that one message that's like, we've gotten a couple since we started doing this show that like just really sit with you, that just gives you some power to keep trying, to keep putting yourself out there, right?
For sure, man. I mean, I always tell my athletes, right, or anybody I'm working with, like, you don't know who's watching and who's listening. So your actions are going to be a determining factor of the lives that you're going to change. And I do that every day. I mean, I get scared that if I live the wrong way, that something bad's going to happen to me, right? Because that influence is so, like, we just don't understand how connected we are as people. Right, we're tribal in nature, so we do what others do, and so if we took that time to actually set a positive example on a consistent basis, like that's how you change the world. You ain't got to go do nothing, just be different.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So when did you? So I guess let's take it kind of back to the beginning, so we could sort of get your origin story. Like, put us on the yellow footprints, and then kind of give us just a summary of your military career, and then kind of bring us up to this moment right now.
No one has. I've been on a lot of podcasts.
Go way back.
No one has ever asked me to talk about the yellow footprints. I usually avoid it though. That's a whole other story.
Think about it though. He's still in.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to talk about it.
Not at all.
Is that what it is? Is that what it is?
I don't even like being in Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
There's too many Marines, bro.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's crazy you say that. I love my Marines and my sailors. I love them, but I need a break sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? I've been doing this for a long time, and I joined in October '98 to get out the hood. I saw a lot of going to high school. I saw a lot of seniors leave and go to college, and they just come right back.
Where are you from, Morgan?
Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't want to do that. They were working at gas stations and dead-end jobs. I was like, I need to get the hell out of here, right? And it just, even when I go back home now, I'm just so, like, this is not where I want to be.
Yeah.
I need to leave. The energy is just not where I wanted it. And so I joined the Marine Corps. I was just like, I was really praying to get out. I was like, I walked down to the recruiter and said, I just want to, when can I leave? Can I leave tomorrow? Right? But the crazy part is, like, I didn't pass the test, the ASVAB, the first time. It took me 3 times.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's how determined I was, though.
Yeah.
Because I passed. I'm gonna tell you some stories I never told before, so you can have some good content.
Heck yeah, man.
Right. I actually enlisted from jail. Right. I went with my recruiter because I had some tickets and some other stuff going on, and I had to actually serve some time. They gave me like 48 or 72 hours in the county. And so my recruiter picks me up. I'm stinky as heck. I was a young kid then, so I was like, I'm not taking a shower. Right? I'm only going to be here a few days. Like, I am not going to be that guy.
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm pretty tough, but I'm also smart. You know what I mean? And
I know what happened. I know what happened.
Dude, I smelled so bad. My white t-shirt had the orange suit stuff all on it.
Yep.
And the recruiter comes, picks me up, and he takes me straight to MEPS.
Oh my God.
Straight to MEPS. I didn't I had been gone for 3 days, and my grandmother didn't know where I was. My mom, nobody. I just was gone.
Yeah.
Right? Because I didn't go. I wasn't gonna tell them I'm going to jail. That was not going to be a thing. And he took me there. I swore in, and I went home like nothing had happened. Right? It was the craziest thing, man. It was because I'm from the ghetto, the hood, right? And so I still had that hood mentality when I went to boot camp, and that don't work. Right.
Now, but what does that mean? Help a stupid white suburban boy like me.
I'm very rebellious. Like, you can't tell me nothing. Like, you're not stronger than me.
It's like Kanye. Tell me nothing.
Right. It was ego driven. Right. It was this shadow of a self. This shell of a man. I thought I was this bullshit masculinity that I was going through, and I'm like, this is what made me who I am. But it was, as I know now, it was all survival and where I'm from.
Right.
But I got to boot camp, and I don't like being in the back of the pack. Like, I'm a front runner type person. I got there, and it was rough. The first time was rough because I was very self-oriented. Like, hey, you need to do what I'm doing. And like the drill instructors wasn't having that. And so over time, like they kind of put me in my place. I put politically correct. They put me in my place and within rules and regulations. And then I remember one day I got in trouble. I ended up being a squad leader because I move fast. Yeah. I'm very efficient. Like, I've just always been in leadership positions my whole life, you know. And they put us on the quarter deck where they do the IT, the incentive training, right, when you don't do things correctly. And
it was called intense training though back then though.
I don't know. I don't know. I was a recruit, man. I would just know that I was getting broke off. Yeah. I had never got broke off, and I played track and football. And I had never felt like that before. Right. And they had us going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down.
Don't care for this.
Yeah, and I was like, I said no. I just stopped. I said, no. I said, this hurts. Like, and my brain was like, this is stupid.
I don't enjoy this.
Yeah. And I just stopped. And then when you do that, man, they came out the woodwork, bro. It was just like, everything else didn't even matter.
Yeah.
And they started running out of me, and I was like, just touch me. That's all I need you to do.
Have you always been a big dude? I mean, you're a big dude.
Yeah, I've always been this side.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like I was a pipsqueak.
No, I was. I have no. Even I tell my reason now. If you want to come across the table, just come on. I'm that guy. Like, just come on, right? And they came out of the woodwork, and I was just like, you just touch me. Just give me a reason to put my hands on you, right? But I know I'd have probably got I know now they got so messed up, right? But then my drill instructor, my senior drill instructor came out, and he grabbed me. He was like, he's a black guy. He was Gunner Sharp Miller at that time, and he came out, and he told me to get in the duty hut. And we went in there, he closed the door, and I'm like furious at that time. Mm-hmm. He took off his campaign cover, put it down, and talked to me like a normal person. And he said, they expect us to act like this. I was like, what? He said, when you're out there acting like that's what they're going to treat you like. This ain't the hood. They want you to fail. That's what you don't understand.
Were all the other drill instructors like not black?
One was the senior and the heavy. The two top ones were, right, but I was like one of two black dudes in 100 people. Right, wow. It was me and another guy named I forgot. He's from Chicago. I remember that. He's from Chicago, and they always used to give us crap. But like he said, they expect you to act like that, right? And he talked to me like, and no one had ever really talked to me like that before. Like they cared, right? Nobody ever showed that to me. And he talked to me, and I went back out. I guess he had convinced me. So I went back out. He put his cover back on. The door closed. Then all hell broke loose again. Did he mind trick me? Like, what?
We just had this moment.
No, that moment was so gold. And then like but you know, you gotta finish it. You gotta finish. You can't. I can't win. You know what I mean? And I was winning at that point. And they was like, nah. Yeah. Right. So they put me back out there and just boom, boom, boom. And I went through it. I went to the bathroom and I cried it felt like I was there hours. I probably was there 10, 15 minutes, but I cried the whole time because I had never been treated like that. And I resisted even, further into the military, and I kept having like moments like that with people, but it was always like a Hispanic guy or a black guy keep telling me, it's like, you got to let this go. You got to let this go. And I spent my whole life like trying to let it go. And it was like the Marine Corps was a struggle for me, man. And I'm always been physically in shape. I'm smart. I'm super like intelligent when it comes to stuff like that. And I was always squad leader, and I got promoted fast, and I was always the guy in charge that got things done. And that just fed my ego, right? I know that just fed my ego over that time. And then it just got to a point where I was like, I lost my brother. He got killed in like early 2000s, shot in the face, and then my grandma died the day before my first Ironman. And and I was like WTF, like, and I literally went through a whole bunch of smack, and then I ended up going to Albany, Georgia. I deployed to Afghanistan in like April of 2011, and while I was there, I was fine, other than getting shot at and rocketed and all that other stuff.
Other than that,
I was but it's crazy. We were just talking about this the other day, man. Like, I was over there, and the first week, I was scared. Man. Like,
was this your first combat deployment?
Correct. I'm a paralegal by trade, right? I teach martial arts, teach weapons, but like I ain't Marsoc. I ain't like Jody. I ain't like Swift, Silent, and Ninja Deadly. You know what I mean? I'm like, I will charge you if you have. This is not the rule, right? That was hold people accountable in a different direction. And I went over there, and like it was just so much, man. And you never know. You don't know what the scars you're getting while you're there because you don't feel them, right? But I came back and I wasn't right. Like it was like everything was moving in slow motion, like the world was moving in slow motion, and oh crap, I hate telling this story because I always get emotional. But I came back, man, and something just was off, and it's a numbing feeling, like, and that's the only way I know how to describe it. But like I was so vibrant when I left, like having fun, going out, kicking it. But I came back and it was just like nobody understood, right? Everybody was complaining. Like that's all I heard was complaining and ungrateful people. Like I don't care what you say, you're ungrateful. You know what I mean? And so I stayed in the, other than going to work, I stayed in the house for a few months. And then a friend, her name is Shannon, she called me, and she was a field MP, and she had got blown up in, I think, Iraq. And she's like, you got to get back in it. You can't stay where you are. This could be your end, right? And she pushed me forward, and she's like, you just go out there. It's not gonna be easy. You just got to go out and get in it. But knowing what I know now, I don't know what would have happened if I'd have never talked to her. Like I might not be talking to you today. You know what I mean? And I'm not even the type of person that's like I would do harm to myself. I'd rather do harm to somebody else. But like I can't say that I would be honestly know if I wouldn't have, right? Because I just didn't know what to do. And as I went on that journey, I started going to psychiatrists, psychologists, and trying to just get my mind right. And that set me on a journey of self-development and just being better.
So you like when you were at your lowest point, you went and got a little bit of help, and that's what put you on your path to who you are right now. Am I summarizing that correctly?
Yes. I didn't want the help though. You usually I didn't want it, but like at that time we were so deep in war everywhere. It was mandated when you come back from deployment. Those first like couple of months, they had to watch us. I couldn't even go on vacation for like a weeks because they had to make sure that I was mentally sane and I didn't go jump off a building or go shoot somebody or something like that. And so it was a dark time, man. It was dark, and I was still trying to live, and none of it made sense.
Now, this was before you were married? Before you had a family? Were you single at the time?
I was single. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had my daughter, Anaya, but other than that, I was single. And but I came back, because that's when I was dating. And I started seeing my now wife, right? And she was the first person I saw when I actually came home to Kansas City. And like I remember even telling her some days, it's like something's not right. And I didn't know because I would get emotional real easy. I would like want to cry for some, and I didn't, I still sometimes don't understand why it happens, but
Yep.
it just would come, and or what I know now to be anxiety attacks would happen. Right, heart start beating real fast, and everything start moving, and you just feel like you just want like everything to stop. You want to go in like a hallway, and just like it was funny. We talking about this because when I walked outside those we call them relocatable buildings.
Yeah, the storage containers.
Right, that's
Cans,
what
yeah.
we were living in where I was at in Afghanistan. It reminds me like these. Like I feel safe in those. I like because it's super dark.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's like
'cause
your own little love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, I like it in here.
How many people that had served in Iraq or Afghanistan
every
come
time.
by here and they say,
Can
"Dude,
Village.
This is
That's the Can Village.
This is Afghanistan.
Yeah.
This is Iraq."
Oh my goodness. We're gonna take a real quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about your T-shirt, Morgan, because it says "Change will come when action takes place," and I
Every
got your
day.
little logo on it. And I'm looking at your social media profile right now, and you have the same shirt and the same hat on. So my guess is that phrase is something significant.
Always,
has some
brother.
meaning to you. All right, cool. We're gonna take a real quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with our guest, Morgan Latimore.
Do you like monster truck rallies? Do you like Taco Bell on Wednesday afternoons? And do you like men with mustaches? If you said yes to any of those, you need to check out our merch. This merch is one of our newest pieces called the Chill Switch Engage. It comes in this nice, faded, vintage look, not retro, vintage. Go to signalfire.media so you can engage your chill switch. Do it now.
Welcome back to Signal Fire Radio. Fantastic conversation go with Morgan Latimore, Marine, author, empowerment speaker, endurance coach, ultra triathlete. Morgan, the phrase on your shirt, "Change will come when action takes place." What does that mean to you?
Yeah. Well, people in the world talk a good game, talk a whole bunch. I want, I need, I have to have, but you do nothing to get it, right? And we can talk about a destination, but if there's no plan, if there's no map, there's no directions, nothing ever changes. And so as I deal with, as I coach people, athletes, executives, individuals, and they say, I want to create that. So I always ask them to ask one question: how will you do it? What does that look like? Because we always giving people like, you need to be positive, you need to be great. Well, how the hell do I do it? Mm-hmm. Right? You have to take action in your life, or nothing will happen for you. It'll just happen to you. And I made this quote just because I tell this to my athletes, and I had an athlete that was like just going through some stuff, and people always, I'm depressed. I was like, well, you like being this way. Like, what have you done to not be depressed? What have you done to not have anxiety? And then, yes, there are clinical things where some people are, but if you look at the studies and the information that's out there, there shows that some people are making the choice to stay there. Right? And so when you take no action, you accept where you are. Right. And you can't be mad at nobody but yourself. All you got to do is move forward. That's all you got to do is take one step, then take the next one. But you want the carriage to come before the horse. Mm-hmm. Right? The horse has to pull you there. You need the carriage is that baggage that you're taking with you. But you gotta have some type of what would you call it? Avenue of like, okay, this is how I'm going to execute this plan so I can get to A, B, or C. And we don't do that. We complain as a society a whole damn lot. A whole lot. And I'm like, what are you doing? Then it's like total silence. Well, I'm doing this. No. That's not how. You know what I mean? That's what you're doing. But like, how are you doing it? No one knows it. Most people can't tell you the story of how they got somewhere. But when you start getting at this level, right? When you start talking to the people that like you guys talk to, when they like making moves, you talk to any executives or somebody that's a leader, they're going to be able to articulate how to get to a certain location. And most people can't do that. That's what makes us very sought after or genuine, right? Is we're able to articulate it to the masses. This is how you move from A to B. And so if you stuck, if you don't want anything else in your life, just continue to doing what you're doing. Nothing. If nothing is okay, then stop complaining about what you don't have. Right?
So what's that, like, if I come to you and I'm just like, Morgan, I need some help, man. How do I get from A to B? Like, how quickly do you diagnose that and say, well, here's probably what you should think about doing?
Well, it depends on how much I know about you. But I have this process called uncovering your why, right? And this is huge for me in general. I do it with coaches. I do it with athletes. I do it with executives because most of us don't know our own purpose, right? You say, I come to you, it's like, why do you want to do triathlon? I want to set an example for my kids. No, that's the what. Okay, how is the triathlon? But what's the why? What is the emotional reason that connects you to what you want to do? Most people don't remember what we were just talking about before during the break was like most people they only tell you the wave tops. They don't tell you the stuff that scares them. They don't tell you that emotional reason. Like you didn't just want to talk to the people. You just didn't want to sell insurance. Like there's something before that connects you to this that's emotional in nature. That's what drives you, and that's what drives your life. And so we discuss that, and we go through just conversations like, who are you? Why are you? Like, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do this podcast? Like, oh, I want to reach these people, but why? Why does it matter if you reach them or not? What has happened to you in your life that made you feel like you want to? Then you start getting down to and you hit it when they either pause for long periods of time. You know, when you're interviewing people, you pause and they're like deep contemplation, right? Or they laugh. Trying to like deflect so they don't go that deep, or when you're really there when the tears come, when the emotion is shown. Now we're somewhere you don't really go, because when you're comfortable, there's no tears. When you're uncomfortable, is in a place that you rarely visit, and that's where the work begins, and that's when we start building something. Where
did this start for you? Your desire to want to do this with people?
I don't know. Actually, I ain't never thought about it.
Could it have anything to do with the moment that the senior drill instructor pulled you into the duty hut?
Yeah. Your own personal journey up until your first deployment.
That could happen. I mean, yeah. I mean, but I could identify so many other scenarios like that. Like maybe it was just like the universe's path for me. Right. I didn't choose it, but it chose me.
Yeah.
Type thing.
And you sort of just stepped on it and walked into it.
People know. I actually know. Like I denied it, man, because I'm my own worst enemy. I was like, from the hood, went to night school to graduate, spent the whole 9th grade year in jail, wasn't passing classes, got dyslexia, can't read that well, was in a special needs class most of the time. And so I never thought I was like, people would tell me, I had a young lady named Carrie Hoffman in Albany, Georgia, and she said, Morgan, when you figure this out, you're going to change lives. And this is before I went to Afghanistan. I was like, what is she talking about? Like, but everybody said it to me my whole life. Like, you got something, you just don't know what to do with it. When you figure this out, when you do this, I'm like, just tell me, please, because I don't get it. And I'm like, whatever. And I dismissed it. And it wasn't until actually recently this year that I actually started saying, like, when people tell me thank you, I'd say, you're welcome. I used to say, hey, man, you did all the work. Yeah. It's another day. It's what I do. And it was bull. It was all bullshit, right? But, like, to learn to start appreciating myself took a long time.
And people being able to take a compliment, sincerely receive a compliment, is a difficult thing.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Especially like certain people. I'm only speaking for people that I know of like, that help people a lot and that are very humble about it. And you say, I want to be, but you almost like, you mask it by saying, I'm trying to be humble. No, you're scared of feeling. You're scared of your emotions. You're scared of that it might excite you so much, make you so happy that you may shed a tear for somebody else besides yourself. And so you avoid that.
Yeah.
But guess what? You don't grow, and you can't help them if you're not willing to do the same work.
You're still in the military.
Correct.
And I would say, just in the short conversation that we've had, you feel on a different level than almost everybody else that I was in the military with. Now, I've experienced a lot of what you're describing years after the service, just from finding my true purpose, exploring my curiosities, connecting with people, taking risks, trying new things. But you've shortened that timeline significantly. We talk a lot about, like a lot of people that listen to our show are in the military and are getting out of the military or looking ahead to getting out of the military. What was that process of self-discovery for you to get to where you are right now, where you feel on a different level? And what offer could you give to somebody who's like, man, I'm staring down my EAS 3 months down the road, and I kind of want to get in on that a little bit quicker?
Trying to think if I should answer this question the way I really want to answer it.
Well, yeah.
I'm still in the Marine Corps, so I can't say certain things.
Pause.
I did, and it was a pause. I'm still contemplating, like, should I say what I really want to say, or should I? No, man. You realize that the Marine Corps doesn't care, right? That's what I realized, and I want to make sure I'm very distinct when I say this. The Marine Corps doesn't care. People do, though. Right, and those people are the ones that you can see suffering. They see the transition to the next level, like they suffer because their identity was Master Sergeant, Master Guns, Master Command, Master Chief, whatever. That, like, people suffer because that was their identity, and I was like, nah, man, right? And I had two people, and one person I didn't know him, but I just had a colonel told us, like, you need to love your Marines, and I was like, Are you high?
Are we in the same room?
Yeah, like, are you high? Like, and I was like, I think I was a staff sergeant, so I was still like really raw. Like, I was that guy, the bulldog type dude. When you see me, you go the other direction type. And then I was still same rank, and Master Guns told me, he's like, you gotta learn how to hug your Marines. You don't have to physically do it, but you have to have some level of compassion and empathy for them. Right. And because I was like, if it ain't about me, it ain't about. Failure's not an option. That's how I speak. Hell, death, and destruction is the only thing I give, right? I don't have heart attacks, I cause them. That's my life. Like, that's the stuff that's how I say it now because that's the stuff I used to say. I used to say it so much, so plaques.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I read them now, I'm like, this was so much BS. Right? And you get to the point where you realize that you can impact way more lives by actually seeing them. When you see somebody hurting, oh, he's a piece of shit. Why? I had a Marine recently, in the recent last couple of years, and I checked into my new duty station. I took over the Cherry Point Law Center as the senior enlisted advisor, and I got there, and it's like, oh, he don't care, or he's stupid and he's dumb, and this is what you hear the staff NCOs saying. And then I was like, you know what? I'm one of the people that's like, did you ask him why? Why does he not grasp the concept? Why does he speak up? He was the NCO. Why does he take charge? No, we never asked him. He just don't do it. So I had a conversation with him. Come to find out, well, when your father's beating you every time you speak and say, only speak when you're spoken to, guess what? You don't speak that often, right? And then the moment I saw him, he was the number one NCO in the building. She changed lives by actually not just being there, but being present for them and showing them that they're humans. Because yes, we're Marines, but they are mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers before they're into that. And when they leave, that's what they're gonna be.
Amen. Yeah.
And we take that and I think I heard the comment, I say something like, we gotta stop treating Marines like inventory. Like, they just come and go. We gotta treat them like people, right? People, and then you see people laughing like, no, this is true, man. Because with true leadership comes compassion, comes grace, comes empathy, comes all these things that are feelings that you say you want to avoid, but I can't put my life on the line for you if I don't love you. And that's a feeling.
Yeah, you're describing emotional intelligence.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Like, but we deny because of the environment that we in and what we were being taught. I can't do that no more.
Naysayers would say that would soften the Marine Corps. What would you have to say about that?
I ain't soft. Like, there ain't nothing about me soft. Like, I'm still because even with my Marines, like, I'm about to go hiking with some of them in the Appalachian Trail. I sit down and play Magic the Gathering with some. I had a Marine that just checked in and said, I said, what do you like? What's your hobby? He said, I like to play guitar. I said, why don't you bring it in and play it for us? He said, what? He looked at me like I had a third eye. I want to see you for who you are, because when I call on you, I don't want you to do it because you have to. I want you to do it because you want to.
Right.
That's leadership. Any great leader in the world, the people that are successful with leading didn't lead with fear, because usually them people get assassinated or get killed. The people that change the world lead with love, lead with human feelings, right? And when you do that, you don't, because again, that weakness, that's ego talking again. That's your masculinity talking again. And if that's what's talking for you, then you're really losing out on a lot of things when it comes to life. And if you love your people, that's what I'm telling you. There's nothing more courageous than people jumping on grenades, jumping in front of bullets in the military, right? that ain't toughness. That ain't, you know what I mean? That's feeling. That's love. That's when you give the ultimate sacrifice. That's feeling. Like, are you high? Are you something wrong with you? If you think that means you should evaluate your own upbringing. And usually the problems that we have didn't come from the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps just compounded on them or suppressed them even more, right? And that's why we all come back, or even the sailors, or whatever you go through. You get to a point where you just like, you start to break down. So you look at this, like I'm on this back end. If you get most people that have been in 20 years or more, we got psychological issues because we've been suppressing issues our whole damn life. That's why we up.
Right.
That's why it's transitioning. And when we get out in the first year, we killing ourselves because nobody has taught us how to deal with the problems that have already existed. Mm-hmm. You want us to be more than we can possibly be? Show me how to feel something. Show me how to love somebody. Then I'll be more. Then I'll be dangerous. Mm-hmm. I'm getting amped. So. No.
He took a long pause. He contemplated, and then he just said, "Am I going to say what I want to say?" And then you did.
Man, like, because it, like, I'm not mad, but like I can feel the tears behind me, and like, but I can.
You're passionate about it,
bro.
And you're passionate about it for the right reasons, right? Because to the point of your shirt, on the other end of leadership like that, there's really, really good growth to be had. It's different. And some people might look at it as like that scary, something that I love, my Marine Corps is going to change, or my whatever is going to change. But if it's going to change for the better, you got to be courageous to step out and allow that growth to happen.
Just like but it's the same thing as how you raise your kids. Like I have daughters, 4 daughters.
Oh boy,
we got 2
girl dads.
Yeah, too. So I go in and just be hard with them. No. But when Daddy speak, matter of fact, Daddy don't have to speak. I give you a look and changes, right? Like that's. But at the same time, I can I'll tell you, I discipline my daughter, and then she wants to come lay on and cry in my arms. Hello, right? Because I'm gonna love you, but I'm not gonna let you fall on your own sword. Like that's not what I'm here to do. And if you can have real, we do a lot of shadow coaching, shadow leadership, which is really management, and we say this is what you should do, this is how you should be. But real leadership is just like loving somebody. It's having conversation. It's taking out time for them. It's being present for them in more ways than just the physical. Mm-hmm. That's leadership. And when you do that, they understand the difference. You don't have to make anyone do something. You're like, you know what I mean? And when you take that piece, it becomes so much more powerful, because when I walk in the room, everybody still moves. Everybody's still silent. Everybody still stands. But then they tell me how their mom doing. Right? They respect me because the boundaries that I've set is the ones that I've set, but they know that I'm human just like them. And guess what? I go out my way to make sure they understand that. But if you step over the line, I'm gonna flip the switch on your ass, off safe, and then we going at it, right? And so like you have to have it, but that's with everything in life that you do. But the problem is, just like a car, it's different gears. You got to have different gears within your life and within your emotions, what you give and when you should give it. But if you get stuck in one gear your whole life, the other ones never get used, and you feel like I'm empty. I'm missing something.
Yeah. We're going to take a real quick break here. Don't go anywhere. Fantastic conversation going with Morgon Latimore. We'll be right back on Signal Fire Radio. Hey, welcome back to Signal Fire Radio. Fantastic conversation going with our new friend, Morgon Latimore, Marine author, empowerment speaker, endurance coach, ultra triathlete, executive coach. Matt, I'm ready to run through brick freaking wall right now. Yeah. Talking to Morgan.
Yeah, I mean, the conversation so far, he's epitomizing like what I felt like when I was in the Marine Corps. Yeah. We were severely lacking.
Oh yeah, very much so. Very much so. It was due because I said so. And, you didn't really...
Yeah, when you're out in town, you're getting yelled at for wearing a baseball hat in Blockbuster video.
Diddy bopping down the block.
It's like, wait, what?
I know, man. I look back at that, and, like, if I ask myself what was I embarrassed about, it was when I suddenly went from Lance Corporal to Corporal, and I felt like I could start yelling at people because I'd earned something. I mean, that was just...
That happened to me. I got counseled that day. I picked up Corporal and went ham on 2 people. Went ham. And then I took the whole building and sent each Marine down and talked to him as a corporal. So this is what my expectations were. What? Better get out of my face. And then wonder why everybody was upset and didn't like me after that.
Yeah. So you have 4 girls, you were saying off the break. What are their ages again?
23, 20, 19, and 5.
So you're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
You're in the thick of it. So what does, tell us a little bit, like, when did the ultra marathon start for you? When did you become an ultra triathlete? Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Marathon, that's the easy part.
Yeah.
Come on,
He
bro.
said that's the easy part. I don't even like to drive 24 miles.
I'm a Marine, bro. Like I don't do. When I think of Marine, I think extreme. Like that's automatically what I think, right? Everything that I do is I love extreme. I lead extreme. I crush bodies extreme, and I don't know. I was cycling. I came back from Afghanistan. My back was really messed up, and I started cycling. And got that fixed, went to SoCal and got stationed there. And I got into triathlon because Southern California is the birthplace and the mecca of like damn near any sport.
Yeah, and running through San Diego is awful.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to leave when they told me I had to go. And
where'd you live in San Diego?
The second time I was on base in Camp Pendleton in Edson Range. Yeah, and so I went there and I just got into it. I actually became volunteer director for 3 Ironman races there. And I did that for 2 years, and I got like pulled into the community, and I was like, okay, I started racing. I did my first, so I did my short distance, the sprint, and then like a couple of weeks later, I did a Olympic, and then I was like, you know what, I want to do something bigger. Then I went and did a half Ironman, and I was like, you know what, let's do it full, all right? So in 6-month time period, I literally went through the gambit of the first 4 levels of triathlon, and I was like, I did a full Ironman, and I was like, that ain't that bad. I've done harder things in the Marine Corps. With getting when I come a black belt martial arts instructor for the Marine Corps, getting that belt.
Yeah.
And like
No,
when
thank
it first came, that was what. 05?
Yeah, I think
like,
so.
You know when it first
04,
came out?
when McMath
yeah,
first came out.
when we
Yeah.
were still doing like body hardening and,
Yeah.
and people getting broke off
Doing-
at tan belt.
doing all this
yeah.
nonsense,
So I
yeah.
came in during that, and we had they call it the cohesion room now, but back then it was called the House of Pain. And they would play like Smurfs Christmas, and they'd flash and strobes, and you would fight, and you would get kicked, and you would do. It was
like Mortal Kombat.
Not, yeah, it was just not fun, bro. Like, and like I've never wanted to quit shit ever in my life, but like I wanted to quit. And it was the hardest day. I was like, oh, this is just a long day. Like it's not hard. It's just a long day.
Sucks.
Yeah, it just
sucks.
Yeah. And I have physical ability. I've been doing sports my whole life. And then I was like, you know what? What's next? Let me Google some stuff. And they said, seen Ultraman. And then a friend was at a store one day. He said, why don't you sign up? They only take 50 people for Ultraman Florida. I said, nah, I never win nothing. I was one of those guys. And I was like, he's like, just do it. It's $35. What you gonna lose?
Yeah.
And I'm listening to him, and then I 2 weeks went by. He said, you signed up? I said, no, man, they ain't gonna do that. And then he's like, just do it. I'll give you the $35. I was like, no,
Was
you
he
don't have to
already
do
in?
that.
Was he already in?
No, he had already done it before.
Oh, okay,
right?
okay,
But
okay.
it was ultra. This is Ultraman. You do the first day. You swim 6.2 miles. Then you ride 90 miles. Right, and you got to do it all under 12 hours each day. That's the hardest part. Right, doing this stuff is not really that hard.
Yeah.
I digress for everyone
a
listening.
6
It is
miles
hard,
run,
but
yeah.
like if you're trained, it's not as hard as it sounds. The next day was 160 or 70 mile bike ride, something like that. One of them two. And then the third day is a 52-mile run. Right, and so.
I'm out, man. Just out.
and so he came back and I filled it out, and then my wife was running Ragnar or something like that, and I was like in the car and I got an email. She's like, could you ask the director said, could you answer some more questions for us? I was like, sure. What you want to know? Like, if you're a race director, why would you take you? And then I was like, I sat there for a moment, one of those pauses, like, okay. And I just put like how I felt on the paper, right? This kind of when I started learning about content, I put how I felt. And the next email I got was like, congratulations, you have been selected for one of the 50 participants in 2018 Ultraman Florida. And I was like, okay, now what do I got to do again?
Yeah.
Like, how much does this even cost? Like,
Wait, what?
like it was like, cause I do nothing. I just put in the application. I did no research. I was just like, there's no way I'm gonna get in.
Yeah.
I got in. And then like, I was like, then the entry fee went from $500 to $1,800, right? And then, I mean, the race cost me like 10 G's.
Wow.
Right?
Good
to do.
Lord.
Right? And when
Like,
I did,
where is that money going? Literally for your fees?
you got to think it's
Travel
like,
and equipment. And,
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
And
I get the
crew.
travel.
I gotta fly my crew there. I had 4 people. I had to feed them for the whole time I'm there. The race is 3 days long. We
Yeah.
had to show up like damn near a week ahead of time, right? 4 or 5 days ahead of time. The bike, eating, the house, You know, I do.
Okay,
you know,
that
you
makes
take
sense.
care. And I
It's
brought
not-
my family with me.
Yeah.
And I had a camera crew with me at the same time.
It's not like showing up for Marine Corps PFT.
no, it was like it was a thing,
Drinking
right?
Long Island iced teas at Applebee's in
Yeah,
Jacksonville.
when you get to
till 2
ultra,
a.m.
like this is one thing. When you do get to ultra, it either get real. You'll see it get real gritty, where people just do real minimalist stuff. That's where you see like the SEALs and the Marines, because they love that. The less is more type thing. But like you also get into a realm where the money changes. Like the people doing these races ain't the normal people, right? They either saving their life savings to do this, or they're really well to do. You know what I mean? I mean, I have a race that I'm supposed to be doing in May, and that's a $25,000 to $30,000 race.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Easy.
Like you have sponsors that pay for this.
I have that help.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but like, I didn't always, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't always
Yeah, you
coach
gotta work
Morgan.
up to
Like I
that,
had to
yeah.
get to that level, and you just keep peeling back the onion, man. Like it's like a good book. You read a chapter, he's like, man, I wonder what's next. I wonder what's next, because every time that part where you saw the self-development part, when you out there grinding by yourself, it changes who you are, right? And then I started reading. When I got into Ultraman, I started doing audiobooks and reading more, because I wanted to see, like, I just wanted to understand Ultra. Like, what do I do? Like, how do I do it? Like, what am I going to go through? And preparation is what I've been trained to do with everything. And I learned that that's why when we used to get around people from Ultra World, you notice that, like, they different. And people call them weird or hippies and stuff like that. No, you just don't understand me because you ain't woke. Right? Most people are still asleep or unconscious walking through this world every day. But when you get around people that actually spend a lot of time with themselves, they talk different, they act different, they move different. And that makes other people that are not doing that work uncomfortable.
Right.
Right. And so I think that's the endurance world. But that's why the ultra endurance world is like such like family oriented, because we all doing the work.
Yeah.
So loving, like, I love you, bro. I'll tell them. I can't wait to see you. And we'll I go somewhere, I drive, I'll stay with them. And like, it's just a whole nother world than like that lower level stuff, man. All of them will have a place, but as you keep peeling back the onion within yourself, like you constantly open doors that you had shut years ago.
Yeah.
You know,
So how did you come to be a coach in this and kind of help lead people on this?
You asked some hard questions.
Sorry,
bro.
man. Sorry.
That's good though. Like, that's your job, right? So I don't know, because I got to a point where I had someone ask me, like, would you be interested in being a coach? And I was like, I don't know. Again, I was second guessing myself, but I literally have been leading people for like 20-something years. And I was doing mentoring before I even came to the Marine Corps. As a high school student, I was helping the Boys and Girls Club or people that were in foster care. I would go mentor the kids, the boys. And but I got to a point where they asked me, and I was like, oh, let me try this, because I'm about to retire. I like fitness. I like helping people. It matches. Let's try it out. So I did personal training first, taught spin classes and butts and guts and all that type of stuff, right? And then I got to Cali, and all that stuff happened there. It's where I started. And then what nailed, I ain't gonna lie, at that point, even though I was broke as hell as a coach in general when I first started, I went out there and I was like, and somebody said, I'll pay you $600 a month to coach me. I said, what? I said, what, you want me to tell you what to do? You're going to give me $600 a month. I was like, yeah, right? And it happened, but after that, like, I got so fixated on the money, I stopped making money, right?
Yeah.
And so I was doing it for free. I was doing it for $35 a month. Like, I couldn't replicate that anymore. And so my mentor, John D. Bernardo, he lives in SoCal as well, Oceanside. He told me the reason why you ain't successful is because you're doing it for the money, and until you start doing it for the people, nothing will change. He said when you do it for the people, the money will come. The best advice I've ever received in business, in life, ever.
Somebody told me something exactly like that. He said, it's impossible to do the right things and get the wrong results. And what he was referring to by the right things is engaging with people, like being present with people, knowing people, so that way when you have a problem or a challenge that you can't solve, you know who to go talk to and they can help you do it.
And that's been the greatest thing. Like, all I do is, like, even now with when we talk about social media a little bit and self-growth, I just talk about my growth. If I'm going through something that day, I tell you how I process it, because I still go through things, right? And I share that with the world. And when I share that with them, all I do is keep giving that knowledge, boom, boom, boom. Like I didn't start marketing until recently, like actually marketing and like trying to get, engagement and sales. Before I was just making the videos and putting the stuff out there, and I've never had a shortage of athletes. I don't have that problem. I make more money coaching than I do as a Marine. Like literally.
And he's a master sergeant,
I'm
right?
a master sergeant. Yeah.
Come on. With 4 girls and a wife and a family.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, but like, it's not because I'm going out there trying to like sell you for something.
Well, yeah, no, you're spot on. We talked about this. We talked about this before you came on, and I can't believe like in the last 4 minutes or 3 minutes we have to talk about this. But you said that like your dance videos book you more revenue generating activities than if you're trying to like give a 3-step process to self-enlightenment or something like that. Why do you think that is?
The people tell me, because I asked, I said, what brought you to me? They said, your Friday videos. I was like, okay, what about them? Your energy, your positiveness, and it helps me start my day.
And when your daughter's in the back, that's a huge
Yeah. So those are always good.
And I don't tell her to do it. She's like, let's talk to the people, Daddy. Like literally, that's what she would say. Let's talk to the people.
Raising a leader, man.
She is something
Raising
else. And when you get to that point, man, people just want to feel good, right? And you can throw all that. Like, am I technically sound? Best believe it, right? I can train with power, and we can talk about physiology, and I ain't got a degree in none of it. But I'm smart is because I want the knowledge. People think that you need degrees and certifications to lead people or to do things. No, you just got to have the drive and the want and the passion. I've read more books than probably 7 to 10 damn college students go through it like their whole life.
You promise you've read more than me. And I have an MBA.
Yes, you do.
That I regret getting.
Because that's all it is. Because my thing is like when I say process, it's like, okay, I hate school. I totally hate certification school. I have some, right, because it puts me in certain arenas, because that's what the society
It's about the
says,
network more
right?
than it is necessarily what you learn.
But when it comes to like knowledge and reading, oh my God, dude! Like I'm trying to read 500 books in the next like 3 years. I'm at 300.
Wow.
I do audio and hard copy. I do more audio than anything though, because I spend a lot of time with myself, and I learn better that way.
Right.
And
Have you read Finding Ultra? You probably have.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
With Red Troll?
Yeah.
Hey, he doesn't.
Okay.
Hey, Josh, Matt does not get the championship belt for today for that question.
Shut up, Richard.
That was like that. That was like those Chris Farley interviews on SNL.
What was his first ultra race? Ultraman.
In Florida?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. I read the book years ago.
Ultraman. So when he first did Ultraman, he did the championship in Hawaii.
Because he did the Ultra 5 or...
Epic 5. The
Epic
race
5.
I'm doing in May is the Epic Deck. I'm doing 10 Ironmans in 10 days.
And I'm thinking the Epic 5 was like the big deal.
No, they go Decker, they go double Decker, they go triple Decker. One dude, the Iron Cowboy just did 100.
Yeah, I saw that. That's insane.
100 days straight?
Straight, bro.
Gosh, dude.
Like, so, yes.
How many calories that man is
a
putting
lot.
away?
I mean,
like
when I
5,000
I'll burn out as many as you can put in your body.
Yeah.
Like, you eating real food
Yeah.
on these things.
Yeah.
Like, this is not no in jails that you don't even want no. You want like a pizza, some
Yeah.
ice cream.
Yeah.
But I'm burning like 9,000 to 8,000 calories.
Wow.
For a race like that.
That's
like,
unreal.
And you doing that. Then as you do go further in, guess what happens? You burn more
You burn
calories.
more. Yeah, you
so
burn more.
It's just
That's insane being a young Marine, let alone a master
they
sergeant.
can't keep up.
Yeah.
Especially the new generation, bro. Like when we back in the day, we
They're
like
just built different.
Our bosses were like deadly. Like
Yeah.
they're
He said just built different.
No.
Dude, I wish we could talk for hours on him. We're coming
have
up.
him on again,
yeah,
dude.
we'll have him. You'll definitely have you on again. If people want to get in touch with you, they want to talk to you about coaching or anything. What's the best way that they should reach out to you?
Hit me on my website, morganlatimore.com, right? Morgan is Morgon.
Yep.
Everybody's going to say A.
Yep.
I'm not a girl. It's not a last name. Morgan.
Morgan.
Latimore.com. And you can find me there. Email me. My podcast is there. My books are there. Everything is there. And if you need anything, I always tell people, information is free. All you gotta do is open your mouth.
That's right.
Closed mouth don't get fed. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, if you just want me to start doing work, now we're gonna talk about something else.
Well, there's another one that goes along with that. If you hang out with 9 broke friends, you'll be the 10th. So always charge for what it is that you do.
Exactly. Yep. There you go, man.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Signal Fire Radio. Matthew, until next week, go out and everybody go out, strengthen your mind, feed your body, enrich your spirit, and grow your tribe, and go be a Signal Fire in your community. We'll talk to you next week. Hey, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Signal Fire Radio. Click the links to connect with us on social media. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell on this video. And for more in-depth content, check us out on Patreon. We'll talk to you guys next week.